In the heart of a quiet town stood Rosewood Manor, a mansion that had been abandoned for decades. The locals spoke in hushed whispers about a tragic love story that had tainted the house forever. Decades ago, a young couple, Arjun and Mira, had planned to celebrate their first Valentine's out to Castichis. So, the races Toverstogouts together in that very house, but their love story ended in blood and screams. No one knew exactly what had happened, but the next morning their lifeless bodies were found in the ballroom. Mira's white dress soaked in blood, and Arjun's face twisted in horror. Since then, every Valentine's night, the house was said to come alive with their tormented souls. Many curious lovers had dared to enter, but none had returned to tell the tale. This Valentine's Day, 4 friends, Rohan, Samir, Neha, and Anjali, decided to test the legend. Ghost stories are for kids, Rohan laughed, sipping his coffee. Let's go and prove it's all nonsense. Neha hesitated. But what if it's true? Anjali smirked. Scared, Neha? Come on, it's just an old house. Samir, the most superstitious of the group, warned them, I don't think we should mess with spirits. But in the spirit of adventure, they all agreed. By 11:45 p.m., they arrived at Rosewood Manor. The house loomed before them, its windows like black, empty eyes watching them. The wind howled through the dead trees, settled in the air, the first signs of horror. As they stepped inside, the door creaked open on its own. A heavy silence filled the air, broken only by the faint sound of a music box playing in the distance. Did someone leave that on? Neha whispered. They followed the sound to the grand ballroom where an old record player spun on its own. The chandeliers above flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them. Anjali screamed. What the hell was that? Rohan tried to open the doors, but they wouldn't budge. Locked from the outside, and then the real nightmare began. The air grew thick, and a strong perfume filled the room. The scent of roses mixed with something metallic, something like blood. A whisper echoed, soft yet chilling. Why have you come here? Neha clutched Samir's arm. Did you hear that? They turned into sobs, a woman's weeping filling the air. Then, in the middle of the ballroom, 2 shadowy figures appeared, a woman in a flowing white dress stained with red, and a man with hollow eyes, his face frozen, in a scream. It was them. Mira and Arjun. The ghosts turned toward the group, their eyes were empty voids filled with hatred. Rohan's voice trembled. We just came to look. The spirits shrieked, and suddenly the room was alive. The chandeliers swung wildly, the floorboards cracked beneath their feet, and blood seeped from the walls, forming the words, "Leave or die." Samir grabbed Neha's hand. Run! They darted through the Hoifrweinskurry, trying to find an exit, but every door led them back to the ballroom. The house was trapping them. Please, Anjali cried. We didn't mean any harm. Mira's ghost let out a wail, and they said the same thing. But they watched me die. What? Neha gasped. Arjun's spirit pointed at them, his voice filled with pain. They were just like you. They laughed at us. They played with our love. And now, they burn. The walls changed, showing visions of past visitors, young couples, their faces twisted in terror, their bodies reduced to ashes. Rohan's voice broke. No, this isn't real. This isn't happening. But it was. One by one, the spirits dragged them into their nightmare. Anjali screamed as ghostly hands pulled her into a mirror, her reflection warping until she disappeared. Samir tried to fight, but the house swallowed him whole, his body dissolving into black mist. Let us go! Mira's ghost leaned in close, whispering, love is forever. With a final shriek, the darkness consumed them, the aftermath. The next morning, the townspeople found the house quiet once again. But inside the ballroom, 4 new figures had joined the shadows, their faces frozen in eternal terror. And outside, written in blood on the front door, were the words, 4 more lovers for the curse. Who's next?